Happy morning, children. Welcome back to our English class. So, children, today we are going to discuss something which is very much interesting to you. Okay. So, from your childhood, you'll be having a lot of dreams, isn't it? What is your childhood dreams? What will you dream? Yes, you'll be dreaming about some fantasies, isn't it? About fairies, about chocolate rain, about ice creams like that, isn't it? So today in our poem also we are going to discuss about the similar things, okay? And the name of the poem is A Child's Thought. Okay, the name of the poem is Child's Thought and is done by the poet Robert Louis Stevenson. And he lived during the year 1850 to 1894. And he is a Scottish novelist, poet, essayist and a travel writer. And his popular books are Treasure Island and Kidnapped. And his collection of poems for children, A Child's Garden of Verses 1885 is liked by the adults too. Okay, this is a very famous poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. So this poem, A Child's Thought, is going to be on two main characteristics about adventure and imagination. So the poet beautifully describes about two things, about imagination world and about the reality, what is going on in day-to-day life. Okay, now let's see the poem.
So, children, what is the name of the poem? A Child's Thought by Robert Louis Stevenson. So, children, he is Robert Louis Stevenson, was born in 1850 to 1894. Okay, and he was a Scottish novelist, as I already told you before. He is also a poet, essayist, and a travel writer. And his collection of poems are for children. And this poem, especially Child's Thought, describes about the imaginative world of a child. Now, shall we see the poem? So, children, first let's read the poem once and then I will tell you the meaning and explanation, right? So, all of you take page number 42 in your textbook. Okay, now shall we start reading, children? Yes. A Child's Thought by Robert Louis Stevenson. At 7, when I go to bed, I find such pictures in my head. Castles with dragons prowling round, gardens where magic fruits are found, fair ladies present in a tower, or lost in an enchanted bower, while gallant horsemen ride by streams that border all this land of dreams. I find so clearly in my head at 7 when I go to bed. Again, this is the next stanza, okay? At 7 when I wake again, the magic land I seek in vain. A chair stands where the castle frowned. The carpet hides the garden ground. No fairies trip across the floor. Boots and not horsemen flank the door. And where the blue streams rippling ran is now a bath and a water can. I see the magic land in vain at 7 when I wake again. So it's a beautiful poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. Now let's see the meaning of this poem. So children, now you're going to recite the poem along with me. Okay, so the first 10 lines first. At 7 when I go to bed, I find such pictures in my head. Castles with dragons prowling round, gardens where magic fruits are found, fair ladies present in a tower or lost in an enchanted bower, while gallant horsemen ride by streams that border all this land of dreams. I find so clearly in my head at 7 when I go to bed. So read the first line again, children. So at 7 when I go to bed. So at 7 p.m. when the child is going to bed, what is happening? He's finding some pictures in head. Pictures in means you're thinking about something. Okay. Castles with dragons prowling round. What do you mean by castles? Have you seen that fairyland stories and all? You've imagined castles, isn't it? You can see in this picture which I was watching. Yes, that is the castle. So prowling round means what? Moving quietly. So the dragons are moving quietly there. And gardens where magic fruits are found. Gardens It is full of magic fruits there, okay? And fair ladies present in a tower. So, top of the building, what happens? Some fair ladies are put into a room and locked or lost in an enchanted bower. So, or else what happens? They have been lost in an magical world where some trees, many beautiful flowers were there, okay? And while gallant horsemen ride by streams. Gallant horseman, what is gallant horseman? A brave horseman who's riding by streams, who are riding or moving along nearby the streams that border all this land of dreams. I find slow clearly in my head at 7 when I go to bed. So, in the first stanza, the child on going to bed imagines all these things about the castles, about the dragons, about the magic fruits, and about the gallant horsemen. Can you understand, children? Yes. Now, shall we see the next 10 lines? Yes. So, children, we shall read the next 10 lines now. Okay. At 7, when I wake again, the magic land I seek in vain. A chair stands where the castle frowned. The carpet hides the garden ground. No fairy strip across the floor. Boots and no horsemen flank the door. And where the blue streams rippling ran is now a bath and a water can. I seek the magic land in vain at 7 when I wake again. So, in the second stanza, the child wakes up and the objects he had imagined as enchanted and part of his magical fairyland are now only the ordinary things which we see during our daily routine life. Okay, children. So, for instance, the castle has become a chair and the horsemen have become a pair of boots. And the blue streams which were rippling, which were moving around, they were imagined now as a bath and a watering can. It is no longer a stream which is flowing. It is only a water tub and a watering can. And by the light of the day, he can no longer return to the magical world. This is the meaning of the second stanza. Can you understand, children? Yes. So, children, now let's discuss some question answers and then we'll proceed to the grammar part, right? So, page number 43, take the correct options. What does the child do when he wakes up? So, he tries to find the magic land he had seen in his dreams. So, was the magic land there, children? No, isn't it? It was only in the imaginary world that the child had. Second question. By castle frown, the child means that the castle was old, the castle looked imposing and threatening. So, castle frown means the castle looked imposing and threatening because all the fair ladies were present in a tower, isn't it, children? Yeah. Now, Roman letter B, answer these questions. When the child wakes up in the morning, what does he see in the place of a horseman? So, what did she see? She saw boots. And in the place of blue streams, what did she see? A bath and a water can. Okay. Next one. I seek in vain. What does the child seek? The child seeks the magic land. Seek means find. Okay. Next one. When does the child seek it? The child seeks it when he wakes up at 7 in the morning. Okay. Next. Where is to be found? Where is it to be found? The magic land is only to be found in the child's dream. Okay, only in the imaginary land. Third question. What does the child mean by I find such pictures in my head? Describe any two pictures that the child finds in his head. So, the child means that he dreams of the magic land when he goes to sleep. So, for two pictures that the child finds in his head, you can write anything like castles with dragons prowling around, gardens where magic fruits were found, and fair ladies imprisoned in a tower or lost in an enchanted bower, and a gallant horseman riding by streams. So, any of these you can write, children. Okay. Next, fourth one. What are the differences between the waking and the sleeping worlds of the child? So, the sleeping world of the child is much more interesting as it is full of magical and fantastical things that represent a fairyland, whereas the waking world, that is the day, of the child is bland and presents to him all the ordinary things of everyday life. Okay. So children, the grammar topic which we are going to see in this context is pronouns. So what is a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that replaces the name of a person or an object. Okay. It just replaces the name of a noun. So a pronoun may be singular or plural. For example, I, she, he are singular. So when we say we, they and them, they are plural. Okay children. And words such as they, he, she, them, his, my, mine, I, we, ours, it, you, they, etc. are used in the place of nouns. So such words are called as pronouns. Now shall we see the types of pronouns? So what are the kinds of pronouns? Personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, relative pronouns, and interrogative pronouns. So children, you all know what is a subject and a object, right? So first we have to understand a pronoun may be in the first, second or third person. So I, me, us, we denote the person speaking, that is you. So they are pronouns of the first person. Can you see in the tabular column there? Yes. Next, you, your denote the person spoken to. So they are pronouns of the second person. And next, he, him, she, her, it, they, them. They denote the person or persons spoken of. That is, you're speaking about somebody else. So they are pronouns of the third person. Children, now a simple exercise is given in page number 44. Roman letter D, fill in the blanks with the correct pronouns from the bracket. So first question, can you dance as well as dash? As well as they or them? As well as them. Okay. Next, Asta and Dash were waiting for you. Asta and I. So most of us what we will do, we'll be writing me. Okay, you should not use me, you have to write I. Third one, none but Dash admitted to the mistake. None but she. Fourth one, do you think you and Dash can go to the science museum together? Do you think you and I? Okay children. So there we should not use us. When both are given only we can use us. Okay. Fifth one. I have misplaced Bobby's phone number. How do I contact him or he? How do I contact him? Sixth one. It was rather late at night when they drove back home. Okay. So what is the pronoun there? They. The question is for Dash to answer. It is for her to answer. So next we are going to discuss about the types of pronouns. So as you know children, what are personal pronouns? When we use words like I, me, we, us, it, he, him, she, her, they and them, they can replace the names of peoples and things. Okay, for example, I seek the magic land in vain. Okay, he went to buy apples. So these are some personal pronouns. Next one, what are possessive pronouns? Okay, it shows possession. What do you mean by possession? Possession means belongings. Example, we use words like mine, ours, yours, theirs, his, hers and its. So we have to remember that we do not use apostrophe with these pronouns. What is the name of the pronoun children? It is possessive pronoun. Example, this paint box is mine. My sister keeps hers in the cupboard. Okay, as you can also say that this pencil is hers. So what is in the table is mine. Okay, so you can use words like mine, ours, yours, theirs, etc. Okay, next one is demonstrative pronoun. What do you mean by demonstration? It is you're showing or exposing things, right? So this, that, these and those. These are the words pointing about demonstrative pronouns. Okay, example, this is the way to bank. Okay, that is your path. So when you are demonstrating things, this is a blue colored chalk. That is a green color book. So you are explaining it to someone. Okay, that is demonstrative pronoun. Next one, interrogative. You all know what is interrogative. When you use WH words, it is called as interrogative pronouns. Okay, so here WH words like what, who, whom, and which are asked. Example, who will answer the phone? What are you doing? To whom are you talking? Okay, children. Next one, relative pronouns. Relative pronouns means you will be relating one thing to another. So here you will be using words like who, whose, whom, where, that, and which. Example, the person who called me last night was my neighbor. So here you have the relative pronoun who. Okay. Next, one more sentence. It was my mother who baked the cake. Okay, here also I am using the word who. Okay, children. Next, indefinite pronouns. So, anybody, someone, everyone, something, and anything refer to people or things generally and not specifically. So, does anybody know where my car keys are? So, here what are we using? We are using anybody. So, when nothing you are specifying but you are saying about the other things in general, it is called as an indefinite pronoun. Okay, next one, reflexive pronoun. So as you know, the reflexive pronouns are formed by adding the suffix self, 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 such as myself, yourself, himself, herself. Okay, and in the plural form we use selves, selves. Okay, so they are used when the action done by the subject turns back upon the subject. So they help themselves to some ice cream. So here the word themselves is a reflexive pronoun. Last one is an emphatic pronoun. So they are also formed by adding the suffix self, and they are used to emphasize who or what does the action. So main thing is relating to the subject, who or what does the action. So example, isn't it nice? I made it myself. For example, other words you can say, I myself made the dish. Okay, so that is called as an emphatic pronoun. Okay, children. So children, here in this tabular column you can see about the subject, object, possessive pronoun, reflexive pronoun and indefinite pronoun. Okay. So I'll be sending you along with your assignment. Kindly go through and write it in your classwork also. So children, now we are going to do exercise with reflexive or emphatic pronouns. Okay. So before that, when I is the subject pronoun, what will be the reflective pronoun? I, myself. You, yourself. He will be himself. She, herself. It, itself. We, ourselves. You, yourself. Okay. Now let's see the exercise. So children, Roman letter F, fill in the blanks with the suitable reflexive or emphatic pronouns. First one, the lion cubs were playing among dash. They were playing among themselves. Number 2, Rattan dressed his horns himself. Okay. Third one, Purvi was practicing on the stage all by herself. Fourth one, it was a big sports event though Ichapur dash is quite a small town itself. Fifth one, we have to prepare dash for the long trek ourselves. Okay, sixth one, you have to give dash some time to understand the different moves of chess. You have to give yourself. And here we have to remember some important thing. What are they? So some words may look like possessive, demonstrative or interrogative pronouns, but they are actually adjectives. Okay, they are possessive, demonstrative or interrogative adjectives. What are adjectives? Adjectives are something which qualifies the noun, isn't it? They are describing words. So such adjectives are followed by nouns. Example sentences are given in your text. Okay, is the book yours? So yours will be the possessive pronoun. That is your book, demonstrative pronoun. Next, which is your book? It is an interrogative pronoun. So, the same adjective can be changed as, is that your book? You are asking, no, that time it will be an possessive adjective. Next, that is your book is a demonstrative pronoun. That book is yours. It is a demonstrative adjective. Next, which is your book is an interrogative pronoun. Which book is yours? This is an interrogative adjective. Can you understand the difference, children? Yes. You read it 2 or 3 times and see, I'm sure you will be understanding it. Okay. Then Roman letter G. Look at this picture of a caged orangutan, and it dreams that it is free roaming about in the jungle, trapezing from one tree to another and plucking ripe and delicious fruits to eat. But when it wakes up, it finds itself in the cage. What can the orangutan be feeling or thinking? Right in the thought bubble. Can you see the yellow color thought bubble there? That you're going to do it as your homework. Okay, children? So children, next we are going to concentrate on the writing skill. Okay, so now we are going to learn about notice writing. Shall we learn? So children, what is notice? Why do we write a notice? We write notice when we wish to inform people about an important event. Okay, and a notice conveys information to a specific group of people, and it should be brief and to the point, and it includes details such as date, time and place. And here in your book given, they have given you about you're a president of the tennis association of your school. Write a notice informing students about a match between St. Anthony's High School and your school. Okay, and here the date, day and everything, the place, everything is given. Okay, children. So this you're going to try it by yourself, and I will be sending you along with the assignment. Now see the screen there. Here you are going to write a notice about your report card lost to be put on your school notice board. So first what we have to do? So first we have to write the word notice in block letters. Okay. Next you will be writing the name of the school. Write your name of the school there. So next to the name of the school or organization, you have to write the heading. That is about what main content are you writing. Okay children, so here you will be writing as report card lost, or if your watch is lost, you can write lost, my watch is lost. Any catchy phrase you can write. Next you will be writing the date. So any date. So this year you didn't attend the school because of COVID-19. Okay, let it be last year. Last year you can write it as September 13, 2019. So now you can write help, my report card is missing. Catchy phrase there, and then you have to write the body of the notice. So there you have to mention the content, date and time. Okay, should maintain the content, date and time. Already have written the date. Here it refers to the date where the incident took place, when the incident took place, or else if you are writing it for the tennis association as it is given in your textbook, that date when the program is taking place, in which place it is taking place, that you have to mention in the body of the notice. Okay children, so now our question is about your report card loss. So how you can write? So you can write, I could not find my report card in my bag when I went home yesterday. So I think I might have dropped it somewhere in the school through the open zip of my school bag. So the report card was inside a blue plastic folder with my name written on it. So this clues will really help you to find my report card. So if you find it, please deposit in the office. So this will be the content of this notice writing. Okay. So after that, you have to write the signatures. Here signature means your name you have to write. That is the person who is issuing the notice, you have to write there. Next is designation. Here designation means which standard are you studying. Okay, that alone you will be writing. Okay children. For example, for the tennis association means here you will be writing as secretary. And which department? That department you have to mention. Understood children? So first you have to write notice in block letters. Next the school name. Next the heading. Next date, next body of the notice, that is the content. Next will be your signature, and the last part will be your designation. And you have to remember that everything should be inside a box. Okay, this is about notice writing, and I'll be sending you a lot of examples. Okay children, copy down in your composition notebook. So children, complete your classwork neatly with legible handwriting. Okay. So I wish you all the very best for your dreams to become true. Okay children, have a great day.